Welcome to Money Making Conversation Masterclass. I'm your host, Rushion Mcdonald. It's time to stop reading other people's success stories and start writing your own. We always talk about gifts. We always talk about passions. If you have a gift, lead with it. And don't let your friends, family, or coworkers stop you from planning or living your dreams. My guest, a longtime friend, powerhouse and real estate broker and designer, Egypt Sherrod, and her husband. He's new in my life, like I've stated. Builder Mike Jackson. They're based in Atlanta. If you can be a dreamer and you want to dream about it, your home, your fantasy, your place that you want to rest your head and your family, think about it. Egypt will design it and Mike will build it. That's a slogan. Not mine, that's theirs. They know plenty about juggling the booming property business, pleasing clients, managing their home, and raising 3 daughters. And they are beautiful daughters, so precious, especially the young one. When you have this one scene when he's walking around with a pamper on his head, you're going to love him. They make it look effortless and fun in their new HGTV series, Married to Real Estate, available to stream on Discovery Plus. You can also catch Egypt and Mike as guest judges in the last season of HGTV's mega hit home renovation competition series, Rock the Block, where you see 4 competing teams. You can also stream Egypt's previous show because she's been out there. Mike's the new one. She's bringing him into the fold, bringing this little handsome behind. She's handsome behind up here. Now you see why she's happy all the time. Now Discovery Plus, we're looking at the new renovating king and queen of HGTV and Discovery Plus.
We claim it. Thank you, Rushion. We appreciate that love. Mm-hmm. And you are absolutely right. I've been around. You and I, we know each other quite well.
Absolutely. It's a good being around because all the time I've always seen you. First of all, your personality has been positive. And one thing I've loved about her, Mike, is that, opportunities, she's fearless. Because that's what a lot of people do, because met her in radio. And so when people start saying, I want to do something else, they can get so locked in and comfortable, they don't do it. And so many different levels. And that was urban radio that she was in. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then now she's coming into another area of, I want to say we don't see many Black people. We don't see many people of color like you two. That's why it's so refreshing to see that. Mm-hmm. And I like to believe this is something we're going to see on a regular basis. But in seeing the first 2 episodes of your new series, Marriage to Real Estate, which, like we said, is on Discovery Plus, I found a family environment that I was engaged with. But more importantly, this is what y'all do. I never questioned that you guys were a prop. I never quit. You know what I'm saying? That's what can happen. They get a cute couple like you guys. You got the cute little children. They say, y'all be a great TV show. It's no doubt in my mind. This is what y'all do. But Egypt, I have to go back to this because, I call this my masterclass series, because you're talking about people in a market now. We all know it's hard to get a home out there nowadays. Okay.
It is.
It's sometimes 30 people waiting on the same building and trying to call their home. How were y'all able to do a series in this type of real estate boom where homes are scarce and people are trying to make a decision on different properties while you're doing the show?
So, Rushion, I'm a real estate broker. It's what I've done for, 20 years. And that also means that I've lived through and strived through and grew through every real estate environment. Right. When the bubble burst and, people were losing their houses and needed to be saved with short, from foreclosures with short sales, I coached them through it and helped clients through that. Now we're in an environment where first-time home buyers are being edged out completely. Even experienced home buyers are like one of 30 different offers, and listings are going for 50, 60, 70,000 over asking price. I mean, it's crazy out here right now, but I think that this is what I've been built for, if that makes sense. All these years of working through, living through, existing through, buying through, renovating through in our own lives has prepared us for this moment where we can help our clients through. And if I told you the hows, then I would be giving away all my tricks of the trade when I go up against other offers. So I won't go there. But what I will say is, stay encouraged. Mm-hmm. And if you're in the market to buy a home, make sure all real estate agents were not created equal.
Right.
They were not. You take a class, you get a license if you pass the test. But what you want is a seasoned, experienced, shown and proven real estate professional who can coach you and come up with a strategy to help you, get successfully to the finish line.
Right. Great. Yep. Now, Mike, when I Google Egypt, a lot of things pop up, pictures, photos. She's posing this way, television show, extensive background in the entertainment. Is business, or I just see a reference to a business. Give us a little background on your journey into a home building or renovations and in this market, and so we can get a sense of your culture and your expertise.
Definitely. So I've been in construction, I want to say, since I was a kid. I started with my uncle and my grandfather. They had a construction company, they would always bring me along. Future forward, I started with the local 28 trade in New York City, where I was a journeyman for sheet metal work, right? And then I transitioned into owning my own company, which is Jackson Draper Renovations, where we pretty much do it all: carpentry, plumbing, electricity, exterior work, all of the above. It's myself and my uncle, my partner, which is, you'll see him on the show as well. His name is Mark.
Absolutely.
And this is what I do, and my wife and I were teaming up, which you'll see on the show, where we're trying to merge the two businesses under one umbrella, bringing real estate, construction, design.
Yeah. One design house. But you gotta tell Rushion, I don't think he knows the full story that's how we met.
It is how we met. Yes.
Thank you, Egypt. Help this brother out like you do on the show anyway.
He's new, Rushion.
He knew.
It's not that. I was trying not to take up too much of the time.
Really? I said this is a master class. We're teaching. We're educating people about this beautiful couple.
Here's what was on my mind, is why I didn't want to talk too much about me, because I wanted to piggyback off of the discussion you brought up in the beginning, as far as her not being fearless. She's beyond not fearless. She's also selfless.
Yes, she is.
She's the type to where she doesn't worry about what everyone else is going to think. Despite of what's cool or despite what's hot at the moment, she's going to do what's going to make sense for her and what is going to be successful for those around her, meaning family. It's not about the business or the hype of the business. It's about, okay, what's smart for the moment and what's going to make sense in the future. So that's what I wanted to touch on. That's why I didn't go too much into me.
I think I'll keep you. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. So, but yes. We met our early stages. I was actually DJing, and I still do periodically
around
the world.
We were both radio DJs. That's what I was going to tell you. Rushion, when I met you, I was a radio DJ. He was a radio DJ.
I was DJing worldwide. We met in 3 separate incidents, but one of them took us back to where I ended up on a rooftop with her because she had her foot in
I was stuck in a roof.
Trying to do things herself.
Wait. I got to tell this story. Can I tell this story, please? Can I tell it?
I shut up.
Rushion.
Okay.
Rushion.
Okay.
So I was flipping houses in Newark, New Jersey, while I was a radio personality in New York City, right? And I'm a Scorpio, and what that kind of means is if you back me into a corner, my stinger comes up, and that sometimes goes over well, but not always over well in business. And so what happened was all my contractors walked off the job.
Wow.
Because I came off way hard. It's hard to be a woman working in construction as well. Men don't always take that well. And so when you kind of come
I'm going to tell you something. Also in that part of the country, it's really chauvinistic. Well, I can tell you for a fact, I lived in New York. I've lived all over this country. Yeah. It gets really chauvinistic in that northeast part of the country, especially that Jersey area.
It does. So they walked off the job, and I later found myself trying to tar a hole in the roof by myself.
Right.
And I fell through the roof. And in that moment, I realized I needed some help. I called my mentor at the time, who referred him.
Okay.
This guy.
Okay.
And when he pulled up, I'm like, what are you doing here? You're a DJ.
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm about to rock this rooftop, baby.
Right. I'm a moonwalk all over this rooftop, baby. Rock your world.
I didn't know he was really also a businessman, and he was a contractor, and that DJing was a facet of what he did, but it wasn't all of who he was. And we kind of fell in love over that renovation. You saved my life.
Absolutely. You saved her shoe for show. You saved her shoe for show. That's for sure. You got that for sure. The interesting thing about, and I shouldn't even say interesting, is that I tell everybody, and when I look at television now, television is so fun for a person of color to me now, because I see us on television on love stories. I see us in commercials, interracial commercials. It's all kind of things that really make you feel comfortable when you turn on the TV, and make you comfortable when you walk in the street. Okay, I guess we cool now in a way, because you can see me banking, me dating, me having my Santa Claus is black, all that good stuff. And so
our president was black.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now the vice president is black. So stuff becomes a little normal. But we know it's not all normal. But in watching the show and seeing you guys, what do you think is the most magical thing about you as a couple on TV, talking to people, encouraging them, making life decisions, and then showing them that this is the best opportunity to move their life forward, sometimes as a couple and sometimes as a family?
Mm-hmm.
I think that for us, we have these conversations often, right? Because as a Black family, on national television, where you're not just talking to an African-American audience, questions come up even in advisory, if you know what I mean. Because you're an advisor as well, Rushion. So, in advisory, it's, what do we need to change anything to appeal to the masses? And I think for us, the blessing in this entire experience is no one has asked us to change a thing. Yeah. Like, I was on the Today Show this morning in dreadlocks. Do you know what I mean?
You better not call them dreadlocks.
They're goddess locks. They're goddess locks.
Don't let the ladies come for you.
But no, like Monday, when I think about it, like Monday, I shot a commercial for the international, excuse me, I'm sorry. I shot a commercial for the Intercontinental Exchange for ICE stock market. And no one asked me to tone down anything, like no attitude, no blackness, no nothing. On our show, that's very much who we are. And our network, HGTV, loves it. We want y'all just as you are. I think that is a blessing in it. And just this whole experience, our show, the idea that, we are a Black family, successful, we have beautiful children who are sweet, who are educated. We're together. We're married. We don't have a broken home, which is what people stereotypically expect. We don't fight. There's no drama or gossip out there about us and, cheating and all this nonsense. People kind of expect that when they see African-American families on TV, that there's going to come a whole bag of tricks with it. And the blessing in this experience, not only that we get to do it together, is that there's no drama. And so we're showing we can do it too. We are doing it too. We've always been here. Thank God you're just noticing it.
Absolutely. Now, hey, Mike, I want to say this, Mike. Mike, she tries to set you up a couple of times. When she comes in the room, asks you, how does this look, baby? How does this look, baby? And then she references, oh, you trying to say something about my wig? I said, oh, no, she trying to set my boy up. No, Mike, come on, Mike. She trying to set you up.
So, but to piggyback over that as well as and answer your question with the magic part, I think the magic in it is that we are really doing the work, right? We don't step in and then say, cut, okay, somebody else come and do this.
Yes.
You get to see a couple, not just a Black couple, a couple that is universally appealing to the masses, right? It's positive. It's full of family. It's full of education. It's full of information, right? To where you can say, okay, I'm used to this. This sounds familiar. This looks familiar. I'm tuning in.
But I think what is good too is you also see a little bit of our mess. You can tell I drive my husband crazy. Rushion, you watch 2 episodes. You can tell I drive him crazy.
Egypt, what you ain't gonna do with my boy Mike? He my boy now. My boy Mike. So like I said, I just showed y'all 2 examples where you try to set him up. You know what I'm saying? Talk about, baby, I think I've eaten too much. I think I've eaten too much, baby. What do you think? I'm not answering that question on TV. No, you ain't doing me like that, honey. That's the fun part of what I'm talking about, this relationship, because that's what I do in my life, but it's captured on film organically. And I'm going to be real about it. It ain't even about race now. It's about enjoying a couple, and that gives me information because I watch these shows. These are the type of shows that'll be running where you're at the car dealership sitting there waiting on your car. These type of shows that are running when you're waiting in the hospital lobby. These type of shows that are just running. They're so comfortable because they're so informative. And that's the part of it that I love, because I love that part where, you walk them through the house, and that's the part where if people know what they're talking about. about when you, because people really should, they about to give their life to you. And in some of these houses that you're walking in, you can't be so forceful that you feel like this is it or you're out. But that part, walk us through that whole part of creating that organic relationship, Mike, as a builder, because she's the face of she's a dreamer, but you have to put it together. And then she comes in and she'll change on you. Well, I didn't want it like that. I'll be like, come on, baby. Don't do Mike like that on film. Don't do him like that on film. But he laughs it off.
Rushion, you really watched. You really watched.
I loved it. I loved it. When the floor was gold and the other floor was brown, the other floor was this, you go, oh, baby, don't worry, I got you. And she walked away, okay, I'll be back. Walking in. I'm gonna just tell you a couple of things that really messed him up. She on a construction site, y'all. She walking there with heels on, open toes. Open toes. Here. Of course, Mike said.
You got to remember, my day, I might be with my real estate clients. I still need to look professional. They don't understand me coming in work boots.
I told her to keep some shoes in the car.
Mike, talk to me. Mike. Talk to me. Mike said, oh, you just going to step on a nail. You just going to step on the nail.
Rashawn, I thought me and you were friends. Now you're taking his side. Look at this.
Because, the thing about it is that, in these shows, because, like I said, I love the fact that the potential of who y'all are to me, I'm comfortable. I want to watch. I want to learn. I want to say, can I get that? Can I get them to do that to my house? That's when I know it's special, because I'm going like, because, I've done a lot of remodeling. I have people come to my house going, so how they pulling that off? And it looks so beautiful. But again, like I was saying, Mike, you are the builder. She comes up with these pricings. Well, we can only do it for $100,000. We can only do it for $93,000. And they don't know that the gas meter sitting over there where the window gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Don't know that though. But she gonna tell everybody, we gonna put a window there. Then you gotta come in and go, hey baby, there's a gas meter there. Well, take care, honey. I love you. Smooches.
Yeah, she she'll give them the vision.
Yes, sir.
The dream, and then I will softly bring it back down to reality, make them feel comfortable, allow them to trust me. One with smart decisions, showing them how we can get there if for some reason they can't afford it, how we can get there by doing different options, right? I think it's all about listening and letting them speak and let them be heard, allowing them to let you know exactly what they want. And then you coming in, making it feel relatable.
Rushion, what I love about this man and why this works is because he lets me be me. He knows that you're right. I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary. I'm going to show everything in its purest potential. And he'll let me live that out. Right. And then he'll humbly bring everybody back down to earth. That's in everything that he does. Right. He even, I get car sick, so I have to drive. And that's when anybody's driving, even if someone sends a car with a driver for me, I'm like, I don't know if I want to drive because I get really car sick. Right. A lot of men, Rushion, wouldn't be comfortable with their wife behind the wheel, if you know what I mean. So for 17 and a half years, he'll sit in the passenger seat, and let me drive and be okay with that. Right. And he's still the lead. He still leads our family. Even though
I got my foot on that second brake.
Right. Absolutely. Worried about that 7-year itch. You know what I'm saying? That 7-year itch. You know what I'm saying? But the beauty of if we go through the episodes, you don't do this show alone. You have 3 wonderful children. They're girls. They're a part of the show. Andre's part of the show. Like I say, your uncle's part of the show. Talk about the overall casting and the need to organically, introduce your family. And like I said, I've only saw the first 2 episodes, so more people are going to be introduced. What was the whole theory behind the introduction? Are you trying to just let everybody know this is us? Or what was the whole background behind that whole process?
I think people had to kind of get to know us first, right? Mm-hmm. Who Egypt is, who Mike is, who we are as a couple, who we are as a family with our children. But really, for our businesses to work, we could never do it alone. We got a whole army behind us. Yeah, right. And we want people to embrace them as well. normally with normalcy. So, we kind of got to ease them in, let you learn everybody. So Andre is a designer friend of mine. He's super talented. He's done some of the biggest design houses in Atlanta and all over the country. Yeah. But really, when everything's off and we let our hair down, he's one of my best friends. So he's the person that I call if I'm like, I can't figure out this room. Right. I need some input.
Right.
you know? And when I'm doing my child's room, it's like I need second eyes, but Mike can't stand it.
Whenever my phone is dinging from my bank notifications, I know Andre's at my house.
Andre has very high elite taste. I do everything kind of on a budget on my own, but when he comes in, the price triples. So Mike's like, I love you, but you got to go, bro.
Absolutely. But let's talk about the pricing and all that, because this is, we're not telling about the series, but that's where the experience comes in. That's when to walk into a property and give an estimate of what it's going to take to get there. And Mike, I'm going to go to you as a builder, as a person who really is the nuts and bolts of renovation. How's that process work for you, that you trust your natural instincts, or do you have a Rolodex that you fall back on to be able to make sure that you hit that number? Yeah.
Well, a lot of relationships, for one, with subs, with a lot of big box stores, with a lot of friends, so those relationships, I keep those in mind as I'm going through properties. But in this day and age where wood and materials are fluctuating in price and sometimes overpriced, I have to get creative, where we go to refurbished properties or refurbished warehouses and use materials, or I use things that I may have in my warehouse. We
actually did that.
We actually did that on some of the episodes where we reuse things and repurpose them, right? And make them look updated. It's not always about let's demolish this and make a great scene. It's about let's do the smart decisions that's going to make sense so we can hit that target.
Yeah. But Rushion, sometimes we got to give the bad news, and the bad news is this is your budget, but we just can't do it for that budget because the reality is stuff's out of stock right now. We're still in a pandemic and materials are sparse. So, it may cost 40% more than it would have cost last year or six months ago. That's when I let him give the bad news.
So material not only have materials went up, but the price of labor has went up as well.
Right.
So people are extremely shocked by pricing. So some of my clients that booked our company before the pandemic and they wanted to wait, they are now calling and getting sideswiped. So comes with the territory at this moment.
Well, I'm talking to Egypt Sherrod. She's the queen, and Mike Jackson, he's the king. And You're Married to Real Estate. It's an exciting new show. It's a show. A reason I say it's exciting because they're refreshing, they're entertaining. I want to invite them into my home. You will invite them into your home. Discovery Plus, they're streaming right now. You don't know Egypt Sherrod? She has a buku amount of work that's on Discovery Plus right now. She is the expert. She's the queen. I've always respected her. This is not being based on my long-time relationship. When I mentioned her name in my house, my wife knew immediately who she was. And that was, to me, a testament that, my wife respects you and wants to be excited about this new venture for you guys. More importantly, I just see a couple of new stars of TV that's going to take over the game. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm humble when I say that because I'm blessed that I can say that. I couldn't say this 5 years ago. That's how times have changed. You guys are landing at the right time on TV. There's nothing on that show that I was not disappointed in. It was funny. It was organic. It was natural. I felt like it was a couple just happens to have a camera following them around on a rebuild. That's all I saw.
That means a lot coming from you, Rushion. We know talent. We know that you've helped mold talent as well. And I actually remember a conversation. I don't know if you remember it, but I'm going to take you down memory lane just a little bit before we go. I was working at WBLS in New York City. I want to say this was about 13 years ago, 12 or 13 years ago. And I said, Rushion, I got to keep this on the down low. But I'm thinking about making the move to Atlanta.
Right.
And I know that you're in Atlanta. What do you think? Is that a good move for me? And you said, come over here to my office, which, by the way, happened to be like a little production closet at that moment. And you sat me down and you said, listen, this is the deal. Atlanta, is for big dogs. Everybody's a star in Atlanta. Everybody's got something going on in Atlanta. You got some incredible young Black entrepreneurs there. And so if you come in Atlanta, you got to have your stuff together. So you get your game plan first, and then you work your plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this conversation, but it sticks out to me because moving here from New York after cementing myself as a radio personality there for many years was a big, bold move. And it was, it took a lot of, it took a lot of guts and, for us to just say, we're going to take a chance and bet on ourselves and rebuild in an entirely different city where we didn't know anybody. And so
I'm gonna tell you, Egypt and I had several great
off.
conversations because, she followed us, Steve Harvey now, and so we was always talking about ratings, always talking about winning, always talking about, but one thing I did like about her, she always had multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
See, right there, she was my friend. Because that's important in today's society to be able to wake up and realize you have options. And when I sat down, I remember that conversation because it's funny, Egypt. I get that a lot from people. Say, Rushion, you remember when you told me this? And I have an honest side of me that I'm going to tell you, look, you need to stay up here. This is it. But I knew that she had a sense of a gift to be able to do more. But if you go down there, know what you're walking into because it's going to happen. And guess what? Everything's timed out right. It is the new Hollywood. The pricing's right. Y'all have a great show. I'm comfortable. Now I just got to get y'all to come by my house and remodel my balcony over there. And we're gonna talk about that off air. I'm just making sure y'all don't. Hey, Mike, I'm just making sure you don't end Zoom. You're in these calls and then you go bye. I said, he said he gonna give me his number. You know what I'm saying? No. But no, again, watch this show. It's streaming right now. It's streaming right now on Discovery Plus. Married to Real Estate. Stars of Egypt Sherrod, my man Mike Jackson. Thank you for coming on Monday Making Conversation.
We love you. We love you.
Well, let's also say this. It airs tomorrow night.
Well, no, this thing.
On HGTV.
He may be running this for
a while.
See, Mike, you need to be quiet. You need to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. See, TV person don't know. It premieres tomorrow night. Man, you streaming nowadays. You streaming.
I'm helping him out.
You gotta help him out. This will run next week. It gonna run in March. It gonna run in the summer. We gonna keep getting downloads and views. You need to be quiet. I don't even know. I'm tired of Egypt, it was so nice talking to you. Okay, I'm glad you did. We say you did the Good Morning America Today show. You did it by yourself, right? You did it by yourself.
We did the Today show.
Together. He talked too much. I love y'all both. Again, it's streaming. It's streaming right now on Discovery Plus. Watch it. Daytime, nighttime, midnight. It's just on. This ain't old TV when you got to watch at 8 o'clock. It's on right now. Just turn on and click it. It's a beautiful show, beautiful family, a great real estate show about remodeling, renovation, getting the right value for the right couple to change their lives. Thank you for coming on Monday Making Conversations Masterclass.